Havarame, havarame, yoango yaya havarame, yoango yaya havarame, havarame, yoango yaya havarame, havarame, yoango yaya havarame, havarame, yoango yaya havarame, yoango yaya havarame, havarame, yoango yaya havarame, havarame, yoango
I'm at the site of the old Presidio of San Diego at what is now the Kuniperos Syrah Museum. This was the place where Kuniperos Syrah established the first Spanish mission in Alta California in 1769. This site overlooks two very important landscape features. The first, of course, is the San Diego River and Mission Bay and Interstate 8. In 1769, the Spanish established their mission here for two reasons. One, it was up on a hill that could overlook the bay, so it was a site that was protected. It was also near a Kumeyaay native village called Cosoy. If we want to understand what the San Diego landscape looked like in 1769, we have to understand a couple of important things. One, the San Diego River has changed course many times. Today, there is a dredged outlet to the sea that was established in 1953. But in 1769, the San Diego River flowed into San Diego Bay and not Mission Bay as it does today. In 1825, it changed course and flowed directly into Mission Bay. It changed course again in 1855 and flowed back into San Diego Bay. In 1876, it changed course again and started flowing into Mission Bay. So that river has moved back and forth many times because of catastrophic flood events. The Kumeyaay people who have lived in this place for thousands of years understood that these flood events were complicated and could be controlled to some degree, and they actually built minor dams with stones in order to control the flow of the river and retain water in order to encourage the kinds of plants and animals down in the river bottom that they wanted to utilize. Another aspect of the landscape that has changed over time, of course, is the interstate. Interstate 8, of course, follows a route that was once a Kumeyaay trail. The Kumeyaay relied on moving between San Diego, where they had established permanent villages, and places in the uplands they could go to when the weather turned cold, as it is right now here in mid-March. About 5 years after the establishment of the initial San Diego mission in 1769 near the village of Cosoy, the Presidio was causing agitation amongst the local Kumeyaay Indians, and so the mission was moved 6 miles away, also along the San Diego River, to this spot in 1774, near the Kumeyaay village of Kuniperos. The mission was moved from the Presidio for a couple of reasons. One, the agricultural land around it was insufficient for the needs of the neophytes. Second, many of the soldiers in the Presidio were causing conflict with the local natives, and additionally, many of them were suffering from scurvy. The natives saw that the Spanish were not well and refused to take food from the missionaries. The mission that was established here in 1774 was effectively a large ranch. It had a surrounding wall to fortify it, and an uprising occurred where the entire place was burned, ergo the fortifications. So this place has been destroyed and rebuilt multiple times. The mission church that exists here today was a reconstruction built in 1931, made to look like the 1813 structure that was here. The excavations behind me, which were conducted from 1966 through the mid-1980s, reveal the original floor of the convento that was built here around 1806. Also, there are remains of some of the adobe walls that made up the building, as well as the brick floors of the interior. Although the 1931 church is a reconstruction, all of the other structures that exist here today are relatively modern and were simply built in a mission style and do not reflect the actual structures that were here before. These surrounding adobe walls do reflect some of the original structures, and beneath some of these walls are in fact the burials of many of the natives who died here. There were approximately 70,000 Kumeyaay living in the area before the Spanish missionization, and only about 15,000 left by the time of Mexican secularization. After the establishment of Mission San Diego in 1769 and then the new mission in 1774, the Spanish quickly learned something that the Kumeyaay already knew. The San Diego River is prone to both catastrophic flooding and periodic drought. Franciscan friars had at their new mission crops as well as 20,000 sheep, 10,000 cattle, and 1,200 horses. We're at the head of Mission Gorge, where the priests supervised the construction of this dam utilizing native labor in 1813. The stone dam was built 12 feet high and 250 feet across and 10 feet thick, which formed a lake 300 yards long, creating a very large reservoir as well as a irrigation system that could carry water from here 6 miles downriver to the site of Mission San Diego. After Mexican secularization of the missions, this dam was allowed to deteriorate and is now a California State Historic Site. Utilizing natural pools in the granite bedrock, this area was very important for the Kumeyaay for both water as well as resources that are situated in this wet valley. The Kumeyaay migrated between the beaches and the mountains, utilizing resources like acorns, rabbits, berries, and other things. This required seasonal burning to clear brush as well as to remove parasites and encourage the kinds of resources they wanted to use.
Any of you ever been on I-8? That's a Kumeyaay trail. Any of you been on I-5? Another Kumeyaay trail. We are a people of the oceans, the mountains, and the desert.
Although they lived in what appear to be relatively simple structures, they lived in permanent settlements or semi-permanent settlements down near the seacoast, as well as places up in the uplands that they could go to when the weather was too cold or inclement to stay down near the coast. Archaeologists call this behavior logistic mobility, utilizing resources in one place during one season and others during another. Like other California native groups and indigenous civilizations in North America in general, the Kumeyaay had an incredibly complex relationship with the natural environment around them.
A lot of people read that the Indians of California, we had missions and we loved it. And we didn't. And we were peaceful. No, we weren't. And we just disappeared. No, we're still here.